Are you preparing for an active retirement and looking for ways to keep your pelvic floor and core strong? Maybe you're a few years out and you finally want to deal with those pesky little issues like the fact that you pee when you laugh, cough, or sneeze, or that little prolapse that you don't want to progress, and you're ready to learn some solutions that you can implement right now. Well, then you're in the right place, because we are here to talk about your pelvic floor and active retirement and what you can do to make sure you're able to keep moving pain-free. I'm Dr. Amy, PhD trained orthopedic manual physical therapist, and I am empowering women with changing bodies to move pain-free. And one of the changing bodies that we see a lot around the clinic, and I have got to say I absolutely love working with this population, is those who are getting ready for an active retirement. So usually people will come to see me about 3 to 5 years before they're ready to retire. And what happens is that maybe they've been working at a desk job, or they've just been more sedentary for the past 10 to 15 years. They're looking forward to an active retirement, and they're realizing, I don't know if I can do the things that I want to do. And the reason I really like working with this population is because I remember when my grandma retired that it was very much just a kind of sit on the couch and watch TV. There wasn't really a lot happening during those retirement years. Whereas nowadays I see people retiring and they're traveling and they're volunteering and they're playing pickleball and they're moving. They're doing all kinds of fun, exciting things with their lives into retirement. And I love this because it gives me inspiration for mine. So maybe you've recently retired and you have started playing pickleball because that is so popular nowadays, and you've noticed that you have some leakage when you play pickleball or when you laugh, cough, or sneeze, or maybe it's been going on forever and you're just like, I want to deal with this now because, the pickleball. You may have even talked to your doctor about it. And honestly, it's very sad, because what I hear from women most commonly these days, if they go to their doctor in their 50s, 60s, and 70s and say they're having any pelvic floor dysfunction, the doctor's just like, well, what did you expect? You're in perimenopause, menopause, beyond, and things are going to change. But here's a key factor we know about muscles. Let me caveat that and say the pelvic floor is a group of muscles. So here's the key thing we know about muscles. If we continue to use them, they will continue to get stronger. Now, I will admit that the research does prove that women tend to have weaker pelvic floors as they age, and they tend to have more fatty infiltration. And what that means is that the muscle actually gets replaced with the fat. However, that doesn't have to happen, because research also clearly proves that if we use that muscle regularly and keep it healthy and strong, that fatty infiltrate doesn't have to happen. And keeping your pelvic floor strong and healthy is critically important to remaining active. I mean, one, you don't have to wear a pad all the time or even rely on those Depends, which is fantastic. And honestly, enough of a reason on its own, but it actually helps to keep you more mobile. So if your pelvic floor is strong, you're going to be able to walk better. If you can walk better, you're getting more hip strength, more glute strength. You have better balance. You have less risk of falls. There's so many good things that come along with that. You have bladder control, so you're comfortable going out in public. You don't feel like you have to limit your time out with friends or limit how many errands you can run at a time. You can just run around town and not have to worry about trying to find a bathroom every half hour, which definitely leads to increased confidence, because leaking is not fun, and worrying about finding a bathroom every half hour is really a drag. This is why our number one core value at physical therapy for everybody is movement is life, because every tissue in your body is designed to heal itself as long as you're moving correctly. And I guarantee you, your pelvic floor can get stronger over time. With a few simple exercises and modifications to your daily routine, you can see a significant change in your pelvic floor dysfunction. Before we get into what you could be doing to have a healthy and happy and confident retirement, if you are liking this content, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe below. All right, now if you want to keep moving throughout your life and keep your pelvic floor healthy and strong, you are going to want to hear tip number 1, because it is absolutely my favorite to tell people. Most people are having their mind blown because you don't have to do anything that's super hard. What I need you to do is get out and walk every day. Walking every single day is perfect exercise for the pelvic floor. You see, the pelvic floor is a group of muscles, right? We discussed that earlier. Well, it's a sling of muscles, actually, and it attaches onto the deep hip internal and external rotators. Now, those deep hip internal and external rotators are located around the hips. They turn your feet out to the side and point your toes towards each other. That's their function. When you're walking, they help to keep your feet pointed forward. So when you're walking, they get a lot of activity, and this causes a passive contraction and relaxation to your pelvic floor. So you are actually working your pelvic floor by walking. Now, ideally, you're going to walk every day for 30 to 60 minutes, but if you have not been walking every day, you probably want to start with 5 to 10 minutes at a time. Make sure that everybody else is on board, the feet, the knees, the hips, all those other things, and then you can work up to that 30 to 60 minutes as things improve. The other thing I want you to work on that I promise is super simple is making sure you're doing that deep breathing. So many women that I meet in their 50s, 60s, and 70s tend to breathe with their neck and their shoulders. We call that in physical therapy upper costal breathing. So as they're doing that upper costal breathing, they're not using their diaphragm. And it's super important to use your diaphragm, because if you don't, it gets tight. And if it gets tight, it will make the pelvic floor tight. If the pelvic floor is tight, well, then that's when you have the leakage issues, or maybe decreased core strength, decreased ability to do things like play pickleball. Now with deep breathing, we can do something very simple. We can breathe in for 4 counts through our nose, breathe out like you're blowing out a birthday candle for 4 counts. It really is as simple as that, and that really is the breathing pattern that you should be using all the time. Don't use these muscles up in here. And the last thing that I'm going to recommend that you do if you are looking to keep your pelvic floor strong and improve your function as you retire is to do a little strength training. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym, or I don't want to lift heavy weights. Hey friends, you can do strength training in your very own living room. You can do squats, you can do lunges, you can do push-ups, and if you need some help, you can do them on your knees. You can practice putting something heavy up on a higher shelf. All of these simple strength training exercises will help to improve your muscle mass overall, which will help to give you more support. Additionally, as you go along, you're going to get some endurance training, you're going to get some coordination, which is going to help with things like falls. And as someone who recently fell while I was running, let me tell you, I definitely need to work on my falls. So if you are preparing for an active retirement, I definitely encourage you to think about keeping your pelvic floor functional and strong. And if you're already in retirement and starting to notice that maybe you're getting more leakage while you're laughing, coughing, or sneezing, or playing pickleball, I would definitely recommend you getting some help with a pelvic floor physical therapist so that you can get up to the level that you want to be at. And if you want to learn my favorite exercise to do for your pelvic floor instead of doing Kegel exercises, check out this video over here.